with the Australian National Anthem today. So I'll hand it over to Sasha to lead us through that.
We are one and free, with golden soul, all for toil. Our home is good by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing, advance Australia
Stand on it, I think.
Now this wind is no accident. It's a replica of the downdraft, the helicopter produced. We worked very hard to organise this for you, so I hope you appreciate me with the speech. So good morning, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. My name is Stephen Brame, and I'm the president of Peninsula Aero Club. It is my honour to welcome you all here today to the Angel of Mercy dedication ceremony. Let me start by acknowledging in particular the families and friends of Dr. Tom Reedy and Bill Val, and also a special mention to Paul Spottiswood. I know some of you have travelled from interstate to be here today, so thank you very much. I would also like to acknowledge some of the Angel pilots and patients who are also with us today. We are pleased to be joined also by Paul Mercurio, State Member for Hastings, Mayor Anthony Marsh, Mornington Council, Councillor Kate Roper, Councillor Paul Pingaro, Inspector Craig Thompson, Police Air Wing, and Andrew Keenan, Director Complex Care Specialist Operations and Coordination Ambulance Victoria. And at 11:30 we expect Ambulance Victoria to come flying in with their current model of helicopter, so that should be very exciting. Let me also recognise the many volunteers and visionaries who have worked to bring back to TIAB the Angel Bell 206 VHAAL that we honour today. I can't name you all, but to those sitting to my left and in front of me, and also those unable to attend today, thank you. To Eastlink for their continued support and generosity as a key sponsor of today's ceremony and our open day, thank you Doug and team. I don't know whether Doug you're here, but I'm sure you are. To the representatives here today from the Peninsula Aero Club Committee, past and present, welcome. This has been on our agenda for many years, and the dedication of many of you, such as Peter Cutting and Ray Taylor, must be acknowledged. Well done. Now Ray did say this was from a church, this lectern, and I'm starting to feel the power of this lectern. Thank you, Ray. It is clear that the Angel was a labour of love and hard work back in the very early 1970s, as was her restoration over the past few years. This life-saving air ambulance service was, and remains today, a credit to all involved. I was due to hand the microphone over to Ray Taylor to take us through the history of the Angel and to highlight and thank those involved. However, 2 days ago, Ray decided to become a customer of Ambulance Victoria. So Ray is here today, he's fine, but he has asked me to take you through his remarks, which I will do in the next 5 minutes. So thank you, Ray, for all you've done. So this is pretend that I'm Ray Taylor from. So let's walk back in time. I will begin with a story from Bob Turner, one of the early Angel pilots, and these are Bob's words. The call had come early and I took off around 7 a.m. for the Frankston Hospital to pick up the victim of a car accident. The weather was poor and I had some difficulty in getting over the hills to the south of Frankston, finally following the road at low level in mist and low cloud and eventually landing on the golf course behind the hospital. After considerable delay, the unconscious patient was loaded into the aircraft on a stretcher and the doctor advised me his condition was very poor. He would not survive the road journey to the Elfrin and probably would not survive the flight, but it was the only alternative he had. With the patient on board, I took off and flew coastal and then to the Elfrin Hospital, excuse me, landing in the park across the road to the amusement of the commuters walking across the park to work. After 5 minutes, a team from the hospital appeared crossing the road with a stretcher trolley and loaded the patient before heading back to the hospital with great speed. I departed and had an uneventful flight back to Taiab where the weather had improved considerably. Somewhat. The patient was a baker who had been loading bread into his van when he was hit from behind by a car. Causing serious injuries, he was impaled by a piece of chrome trim. He survived but was in hospital for a considerable time. It was a pretty good outcome for the first medevac flight of the Angel of Mercy and the first of many trips that would save numerous lives over the years. This was the first medevac flight of VHAAL, the Angel of Mercy, on the 1st of March 1971. Thanks. What a great first-hand account. I know other patients are here in the audience today, including, I understand, a gentleman who was 2 years old when a trip on the Angel saved his life by a matter of minutes. Many airports have gate guardians. Some are significant memorials to great achievements, such as the Vickers Vimy at Adelaide Airport and the Southern Cross at Brisbane Airport. We are fortunate at Taiab and PAC that we can now claim a gate guardian to honour a significant achievement in Australian medical history. Just over 50 years ago, my apologies. Just over 50 years ago, PAC members and Peninsula residents Bill Val and Tom Reddy had a vision. Both were passionate aviators. Bill Val owned and operated Val Air Services and Dr. Tom Reddy was president of the Peninsula Ambulance Service. During the 60s and 70s, the roads on and around the Mornington Peninsula were basic and an ambulance trip to Melbourne hospitals was long and arduous with often life-threatening consequences. Together, I'm going to take some.
Yeah.
I should have taken your cue.
Yeah. Oh, you nearly lost it. Oh, that's close.
There we go. Now I've lost my page. Okay, the roads were long and arduous. During the 1960s and 70s, the roads on and around the Mornington Peninsula were basic.
Dirt.
And an ambulance trip to the Melbourne Hospital was long and arduous with often life-threatening consequences. Together, these two visionaries sought a solution and formed a partnership that would change the course of emergency medical treatment and transport. In the 1970s, they established the Angel of Mercy, a groundbreaking air ambulance service operating out of Taiab Airport. Val Air Services operated a fleet of helicopters at the time, but none were considered suitable for the mission. The Bell 206 series was first introduced to the market in 1967. And Bill Val saw the potential for this model and placed an order. Jet Ranger Alpha Alpha Lima was delivered in December 1970 and began servicing the Peninsula with helicopter ambulance services in early 1971. This was the first private helicopter ambulance service in Australia and one of the first private or helicopter services full stop in Australia and one of the first in the world. Early operations were wholly funded by Val Air Services and supported by PAC with proceeds from several air shows. The impact of the Angel was quickly recognised, countless lives were saved and the service provided to the community caught the attention of the state government, leading the government to establish a statewide helicopter ambulance service in 1986. I want to again welcome members of the Reedy and Val families here today, and also some of the Angel pilots who are with us to celebrate this occasion, such as Bill English, Lee Hornsby, Mike Tavkar, and Tony Scolari. Please a round of applause for the founders and pilots. The gate guardian we have in front of us represents the Angel as it appeared in 1980s, and Kevin Gibson is the engineer who is responsible for this iconic scheme. The project was made possible by a team who have worked over several years to bring this to fruition. Darren Barnfield has been project manager, who was able to source the airframe and use his extensive list of contacts to find missing parts to complete the building. Outstanding work by Darren. Eddie Cutting designed the support structure, and Scott Switala helped with earthworks. PBG Aerospace donated paint thanks to Joe Ovenden. John Scorsese provided logistic services, and we owe a huge thanks to Brett Fogo and the team at Younger Aviation, who provided facilities for the final restoration work and painting. Bill English and Halley Resource has provided facilities for final assembly and much of the historic background. As a matter of fact, Ray and I spent a bit of time with Bill this week getting this speech in order. When the project was first mentioned, it was planned for completion in time to celebrate the 50th anniversary in 2021. Unfortunately, COVID intervened and plans changed, but I do believe it has certainly been worth the wait. It has been quite a journey, and a huge thanks to all involved. Let me now ask Paul Mercurio, member for Hastings, to provide some remarks on behalf of the Victorian Government. Paul.
I've had a bit of a cough myself, so well done, Steve, on getting through with that. You had 7 pages there? 7 pages. I've got this little notepad here. There's a lot written on here. Look, thank you very much for having me come down today, and welcome everyone. It's great to see you all here at this really special occasion. I was thinking about my relationship with the airfield and with the club, and I first came through Tyre back in 2011 when I was filming my food show, and I stopped at the park to eat lunch, and I thought, who on earth would live in this town? Because it was just a little town, there's a coffee shop, there was not much, and I really didn't understand what it was about Tyre. 4 years later, I bought a house here, and I've been living here for 8 years, and I love it. When I moved here, I knew the airport was here, but I didn't really know that the airport was here. And in fact, the very first night I slept in my house, what woke me up was the freight train coming through, and that was quite an eye-opener. And then, of course, we got the planes. And I'm very happy to say I wasn't one of those minority people that went, oh, I've moved near an airport and I wish they'd stop flying. I absolutely love the airport. I love coming here, listening to the planes, seeing all the old planes, meeting people from the club. And it really is a very special place. And as I got to know the airport and the club, I understood that what we have here in the airport and the club is one of the great jewels in the crown of the Mornington Peninsula, and I utterly believe that, and I'm so proud to be a part of living here. A lot of people want local government and state government and believe me, we're all working very hard with it, but something that I really come to understand, and a part of that is by being here at the club, is that community supports community. If we didn't have volunteers, the whole world would fall over. So we need people that are community-minded, that want to give back, that care about the community, and really work hard. And that's something that I've found about the Peninsula Aero Club. They give back in bucket loads. They do the fun flights. They raise money for charity from their air show. What else do? You do the toy run, and it's about community supporting locals, and I'm so proud and I'm so grateful to the club and the airport. And of course I didn't really know about the air ambulance until I think Steve, you sort of told me, or Jack gave me a bit of information, and I reflect back on 2011 when I was here thinking, what is the Tyre Well, Tyre Airport invented the air ambulance more or less, and then it's gone all around the world, and I think that's something we can all be incredibly proud of and in for. I know the family for Tom Reedy and Bill Vowell are here. And you must be so proud of them for what they've achieved and what they've given, not just this community, but Victoria and Australia and then the world. And to the original pilots, thank you for your bravery and the work that you've put in and the lives you've saved. It really is quite special. So on that note, Darren and everyone that put this sculpture together, congratulations. I think you've done a brilliant job. This community is fantastic, and the airport, I'm very grateful that you're here and for the work you do. Congratulations everyone, and thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Extremely well said. If I could now ask Anthony Marsh, Mayor of the Mornington Peninsula Shire Council, to come up and say a few remarks as well. Anthony.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, everybody. Stephen had 7 pages. Paul had his little list. I've got nothing. Look, I've had a long history with the Peninsula Aero Club and Thai Airport, as we now call it, as well. I actually was a student back in 2006. I think I'm probably one of the slowest students to ever get their licence. I fly about once a year at the moment. But fun fact, when I was, I think, 6 or 7 years old, I used to be obsessed with jet rangers. I used to draw them in my bedroom all the time, and it's something I've always had a fascination with. And I went on to become an aerospace engineer and join the Air Force as a result of my love for choppers. And it's actually funny, I think former Deputy Mayor Lisa Dixon's around here somewhere. We were colleagues a couple of years ago as Americans. We actually bonded on our love for helicopters. So I've got a huge appreciation for this as a machine, but for the machines that deliver the community good. And it's so exciting to see that came from it's good to see the structures holding up, so I can tell council it's all secure. That's great. It's so good to come and see so many people. We go to so many events as councillors, and I've always said, time with council had a bit, time airport with council had a bit of friction in the past, but we've got 4 councillors, a forming deputy mayor here as well, and look at the people. This shows the community love this facility, so it's so great to see again this sculpture go up to recognise the history, but again also the community coming here time and time again. We've got an air show next year. We've got one of the best flying schools around, and it's just so great to see the community. To all the people that are involved, to Darren, to Ray, to everyone else that's been involved in this, to Stephen and the club for putting it together. Thank you so much for your efforts. I did laugh. I think I'm a bit early, which is good, but I did wonder whether you're going to get a chopper to wash out another politician this week. So I'm glad that I might be a bit early, but it will be great to see the new chopper air ambulance come across, hopefully. The wind is on, but it will be really exciting to see that and see that evolution of this service over, decades. So thank you, Stephen, and thanks to everyone for being here.
That's terrific, Anthony, and I have been told with this wind the chopper is actually ahead of schedule, so it should be here pretty soon. If members of the family want to come up and have a photograph taken with the plaque, Ian Johnson, I'm sure, would be happy to spend maybe 5 or 10 minutes getting a photo for you, and we can send it off to you from the club. So please feel free to come up. This concludes the official ceremony and the dedication of the angel. And again, lots and lots of people were involved, and I failed to mention, not deliberately, but only just to upset him, Jack Vivas, who was very much part of this for the last 5 years. So, Jack, I don't know where you are, but thank you very much for everything you put in to push all of us to get to this point, which is great. I know for a number of you there is a ceremony upstairs in the clubhouse, and you've got your little badge, and Nicola can tick you off and take you up. For those lovely general public attendees for the open day, please feel free. There's a sausage sizzle going on down there. There are 600 sausages. So congratulations to the Reedy and Val family and all of the associated pilots. Have a last minute speech, let's go.
Speech, but I'm just asking anyone who is a current paramedic or was a paramedic that worked on the Angel Mercy, if you could please come see me.
behind you. I couldn't
No,
recognise you.
I'm not one for standing in front of crowds
your
and
hat.
speaking.
And I said to my son, I've been looking around and trying to
Yeah.
find you because I don't know.
This is Leonie, my sister Sally.
Hello, and I didn't recognise
Dad's
Jenny.
sister.
She's Jenny
Hey?
Dixon, is she?
No?
Here. I'm here, Noni.
Didn't
I'm
recognise
looking
That's
for you.
Celia, my wife. There.
I'm Sally Reedy.
My son hasn't come over, so he's sitting at the thing.
You can look at the camera. This is I'm filming
take
for
those
Graham
off.
as well. He wanted me to
short like me.
film me. Looks a bit like pop.
And what I could see of your grandfather, he was short too, my father.
Yes.
He wasn't a giant. No,
So I don't know why Peter wouldn't come over, my own son. He said, make it brief, Mum.
You've got a Peter.
Yes, my son's Peter.
Funny.
And my grandson's Jack Thomas.
Oh, really? What are you doing? You videoing?
Yeah, that's enough.
I'm standing here.
Poor old Jan couldn't make it because she's got Jan couldn't make it because she's got Giles' family over, so very upset. So I'm doing
Jenny's
it for her
here
too.
that you met at Radio Mexico. Relative from
Amy, I'm Donnie, Amy. Yeah, my son's not very
What?
family.
Jenny, who you met at Radio Mexico. Is another relative
Yeah.
on Graham's side. She's here.
Yeah. Jenny, that's it there. Hey Jenny.
Hello, Peter.
Yeah, that's it.
Hello,
Yeah.
hello. And Lorraine, my sister.
Hello, Lorraine. Yeah, I think I've both met you in Secure at that time.
That's
at the
right,
restaurant.
that's right.
Yeah,
And
yes.
yes, so we're all here today. It's very nice to catch up, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
She's gone.
I'm going to take a picture of their family. Where are they? Who's the guy that's going to take a picture?
All VIPs, if you could head over to the Aero Club to get your name ticked off to go up to the reception, that'd be great.
Peter, that's
It's
my son,
starting now.
Peter.
Thank you.
Peter.
This is Peter.
Hey Peter, please join you, Peter.
And Celia, his wife. This is Jenny, one from the Philippines. I've told you about.
Peter.
Hey Janie.
How are you, darling?
Good.
Belated happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Must be chuffed, eh?
Yeah, I panicked a bit when he said anyone from any of the families want to come up and speak. I said, there's no way known I'm getting it.
I was pushing him, but he's like, yeah.
I thought Sally might because she's very forward and doing stuff like that, but she didn't. Yeah, no.
How amazing,
Isn't
though,
it
isn't it?
amazing? Magnificent.
But I didn't realise it started at worldwide too.
It was, yeah, it was the first in the world. Yeah,
What you did to help get all that money together.
Yes, no, it was an honour.
Pleased to meet you. You did a wonderful job. I'm Peter Reedy.
Hello, Peter. How are you? Welcome.
Good, thank you. Now, did this come from America? Paul, boss was said it was from America.
The actual.
This flight was brought in. Couldn't they find one in Australia and they had to get it from America?
Well, the origin of the frame used to belong to Clint Eastwood.
Yes, that's what he told me. Yes.
The rest of it's Australian sourced, I think.
Yeah. No, geez, it's,
They've done a very, very good job.
yeah, I remember flying in that down to Phillip Island racetrack.
Yeah.
One of the first times they used it.
Well, we've got pictures of the original upstairs. If you're coming up to the reception,
Oh, yeah.
Nicholas made some very lovely pictures of the originals.
No.
So you wouldn't know.
It's just amazing. It's incredible. I mean, it's better than I thought. What I saw, it looked. I mean, it's just magnificent.
Well, we had it in a hangar here, the frame, for literally through COVID, and nothing was going. And then Peter Cunning and Ray organised with Darren Barnfield. Darren said, "I'll take it down to Youngers at Moorabbin and see what we can do."
Yeah.
A couple of weeks later, he said, "It's ready." I was like, "What?" And this is what came back.
I mean, it's superb. It really is. It looks like it could still
You wouldn't
fly.
know.
I know. Obviously, it's just a frame. But still, I mean, it's just.
I'm just delightful a pigeon hasn't decided to call it home.
And it's proved its strength in the wind, hasn't it? I will. Yeah, can you film?
So I'm not in a photo?
Oh, that's gorgeous.
This is the current day air ambulance. Certainly a bit different from the original Jet Ranger. It's about 3 times the size. magnificent. Wow. Look at that. It's pretty well There it is. So you got a hamburger for lunch, eh? Thank you.
No, thank you. You're recording? I'll let Peter know. He might. Oh no, he's on the. What? He's not drinking at the moment. He's told me not to tell anyone, but he's having colonoscopy on Tuesday. So he's trying not to. He's been off the booze for long, and he's trying not to eat. But you'd have had lots of colonoscopies.
Yeah.
Let him know.
P76 towing it out. I'm doing it because I'll edit it. I'll edit it and stick it on YouTube. Then everyone can see it. So Dan, Brian, they all want to take shots.
Would you like it like a drink?
Oh, I'm off the grog.
That's good. Well, you can have water. Come up to the bar and see.
I'm getting giddy turning around. Just don't stand still, will you?
Oh, sorry, you.
Yeah.
I've got to dry my hands because I've got to meet the president.
The president.
There, I know, but I've got to dry my hands. I've just washed them and they're not dry.
You've had a greasy prawn, haven't
There's no excuse other than I was saving the best for last, but I have been reminded by a number of the paramedics who worked on the air ambulance that they were critical to its success as well, and they were. So Ray, you didn't put it in the speech, but I know we were supposed to. But to all the paramedics, and I know there are some wives of some special paramedics here, and others who are actually paramedics who are here today. Again, a big thank you to your involvement in care.